On today's edition of Cronkite Sports Live, ASU football has hit the bye week, and we compare where they are 4 weeks into the season to a year ago.
Sun Devil Volleyball continued its red-hot start to 2024 with yet another sweep as they achieved their first-ranked win of the new campaign in Fort Worth. We'll break down all the highlights and what has J.J. Van Neal's squad primed for Big 12 play.
ASU soccer is in the midst of a 6-match unbeaten streak. We'll see if they kept it alive last night against West Virginia. All that and so much more is coming up on Cronkite Sports Live.
It's the first Friday of fall, but more importantly, it's 110 degrees outside, but we're nice and cool inside here on Studio 6. Welcome to the now two-time Rocky Mountain Emmy Award-winning program, Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Max Cepeda. That is Ben Paris. And more importantly, Ben, these last 2 weekends, Phoenix, San Marcos, Phoenix, Lubbock. I understand ASU football's on a bye week, but I may need a bye week myself.
You know, I can understand where your head might be all over the place a little bit. I don't blame you, but it's time for the bye week, time to rest up. But just because ASU football is on the bye week doesn't mean that this isn't still always something university. And former ASU quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels is back in town this week as his Washington Commanders are set to take on the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. Daniels spoke to local media this week.
It was the start for me. Started all this, laid the foundation. Obviously, the people that recruited me here, I can't thank them enough for what they've done for me in my football career. And the relationships that I've made off the field here, still cherish them to this day.
Now, the Sun Devils are in a position that, to be honest, little to much of those who were following the program thought they would be at the end of September. But the truth of the matter is that there are numerous reasons for why ASU has made so much noise to both the rest of the Big 12 and the national landscape as a whole. Football reporter Aiden O'Neill has more on what the keys have been to the Sun Devils' early success.
The Arizona State Sun Devils enter the bye week with a 3-1 record after dropping their first game of Big 12 action to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. With time now to reflect, ASU is in a point many may have not expected a third of the way through the season. At the quarterback position, Michigan State transfer and redshirt freshman Sam Leavitt has been a bright spot for a program that lacked a true quarterback one in 2023. Through his first 4 games of the season, Leavitt has accounted for 1,000 total yards of offense, with 3 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns. Despite struggling in the Big 12 opener, Leavitt has a lot of room to grow as the season moves forward.
I believe in our quarterback. Like it's 4th and 1 on our own territory. Put it in his hands. He's a freshman on the road. First Big 12 game. We believe in you.
The transfer portal was friendly to the Sun Devils last offseason, with Dillingham acquiring impact players at several positions that have helped ASU win games. Defensive cornerstones Justin Watley, Keyshawn Elliott, and Zyrus Fiaseu all came to Tempe in the portal, anchoring a group with the 16th best turnover differential in the nation. How to sustain success is the question that remains unanswered. Currently, the Sun Devils have 4 ranked opponents remaining on the schedule, with quality programs filling the new conference. Arizona State will seek to lean on their stars to keep the inferno lit. Running back Cam Scadaboo leads the way, making his name known throughout the country after securing AP National Player of the Week in Week 2.
We've got to be prepared to kind of have a plan for the next 3 weeks in terms of what we're repping, what we want to be good at in this next 3-game cycle. That's why you have to self-scout.
In the next chapter of the Dillingham era, Arizona State seeks to make their first bowl game since 2021 and continue to improve. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Aiden O'Neill.
The bye week for ASU football gives not only the players a chance to rest up and review the film. Kenny Dillingham and crew have found early success trying to wear down teams on the ground by running the football nearly 45 times a game, the 11th most among FBS programs. Devin Henderson breaks down the latest evolution of the CKD offense.
Arizona State football has reached its first bye week of the 2024 season at 3-1, which, by the way, is a pretty stark difference from last year when they finished all of 2023 with a total of 3 wins. So what is it? Yes, there's a new quarterback, Sam Levitt, but it's been the evolution of the run game that this offense is built on. But also, it can be stopped. Let's head over to the film. Let me show you what I mean. Right here, we're in a late game bleed the clock situation. ASU is going to choose to use a 12 personnel. That means there's going to be 2 tight ends and 1 running back in the backfield. This is going to be a stretch run play. We're going to have Scattaboo moving horizontally behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to pick which hole he wants to attack. He had 200-plus rushing yards at this point, so probably a good idea to let him make that decision. But there's going to be a wrinkle in this. Jordan Tyson right here at the bottom of the screen, this wide receiver, he's going to motion in, creating a tight split. That's going to do 2 things. It's going to drag that corner in, also going to help in the blocking. Him and the tight end going to do a little switch block here. Tyson climbs, picks that linebacker, bad gap control from Mississippi State, and Scat scampers through that hole for first down and more. Go ahead and put that week 2 win on the docket, the first against an SEC program in history. Now, this offensive run game isn't perfect. There are ways to stop it. Texas Tech, they found out that way, which is this bare front. 5 rushers right here. That forces the offensive line to block one-on-one. You just got to beat the man in front of you. And to be honest, ASU wasn't doing that this game. Texas Tech lived in the backfield, stuffing Scat here and on more than one occasion. Now, the running game isn't all bad. There are ways that you can build this into your pass game. Later in this game, we're going to see this 4th and 1. Give it to me. There you go, that 4th and 1, right? This is going to be a pass play that it looks like run. Texas Tech is going to step up. They're expecting that stretch, but now there's space in behind that play action. Sam Levitt's going to leave this ball underthrown just a little bit. 9 times out of 10, that's a catch or a guaranteed pass interference, a 15-yard flag. And look, all of this is a very simplified, bare-bones version of how this offense is developed, but it's very much that stretch zone run concept. Draw the defenders in, and then you add those play-action passes elements off of that. ASU has the weekend off to take some time to continue refining its offense and find that perfect attack before a big clash next week with Kansas. Guys?
Thanks so much, Devin. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the ball, the Sun Devils had relied on the leaders at each position group to not only carry the load of the snaps on the field, but also to bring their experience to the collegiate game and lay it at the feet of those who look to climb the depth chart. One of those has been graduate nickel defensive back Shamari Simmons, and our Andres Sarmenta had the opportunity to sit down with him one-on-one about the impact he hopes to make in his final collegiate season.
McLeod pulls it. Oh, what a hit! Shamari Simmons.
My journey has been a very long journey, but like I wouldn't trade it in with nobody in the world, a 5-star, anybody, because it really kept me humble to the person I am now. I feel like, you can ask me any question and I'd never, be too big on somebody or somebody like that or something like that. So I just feel like, just my whole journey just humbled me and just be more appreciative.
In an interview about 5 years ago, he was asked about you and any advice he gives to you, and he basically says, if you feel like you need to fill someone else's shoes, you'll forget to wear your own. How do you think you've worn your shoes through the entirety of your career so far?
A lot of people can't walk up a mile in my shoes, so I just feel like just me being able to say that these are my shoes is more of a proud feeling.
Just talk about, for people who don't know, what is it that you do when you go back out to your community?
Me being so busy with football, I try and go down there, when I can. So when I go down there, I just try and just bring everybody together, bring everybody just involved, and just really just give it for the kids. I'm proud to say that I came from no offers, coming out of high school, going straight to JUCO. I'm proud to say that it just made me just a better player. Just people respect me as a person, as a player more.
Number 14, Arizona State Volleyball opening Big 12 conference play for the first time in a top 25 matchup at number 22 TCU. We picked things up in the first set, and Shania Camardi over to Mary Scholl, able to keep this play alive. TCU with one more chance to keep the set alive, but they send it long. ASU takes set 1, 25-20. TCU did not score more than twice in a row in the opening set. Second set, it's 23-21 ASU. And Jelly Sear makes it 24-21, her first of 18 kills in the match. A career high for Jelly Sear, her 8th match of the year with double-digit kills in front of her family in her hometown. She added 9 digs and an ace as well. Nothing like a Jelly Sear party. On to the third set. Match point for ASU. It's 24-22 as Jalen Gibson tips it over the net. Bryn Covell was there to save it, but Alexis Robertson ends that point to keep TCU alive. Another match point for ASU. And TCU, a service error, ends the match. It's ASU's first Big 12 win in program history, their first ranked win of the season, and they sweep their opponent for the 5th match in a row.
This fall, the expectations for ASU volleyball are likely the highest they have been since their back-to-back Sweet 16 stretch in the mid-1990s. But the reason for that, as many know, has been the style and approach of second-year head coach J.J. Van Niel. And the key additions this offseason he made have the Sun Devils thinking national championship. Volleyball reporter Crawford McKinstry has more on how the Devils have remained dangerous and on point.
Arizona State volleyball currently sits at number 14 in the nation, thanks to a roster that can adapt to any situation. However, that versatility often relies on two Sun Devils whose unique play styles allow ASU to operate in ways many other teams simply can't. The first of these Sun Devil Swiss Army knives is outside hitter Shania Cromartie. The grad student transferred from Mississippi State in 2023 and has since evolved her game significantly. Head coach J.J. Van Niel initially brought in Cromartie last season as a defensive specialist, where she played in 24 matches, starting in only 10. However, Cromartie's improvement has led her to start all matches in 2024 so far.
Last year she was DS, kind of on and off in the DS spot, and this spring she just kind of invested in everything and really was one of our best players this spring. Got her vert up dramatically, really worked hard in the weight room.
While Cromartie still showcases her defensive prowess consistently, she now has the second most kills of any Sun Devil so far this season, as she's become a focal point of ASU's fast-paced offense. Another jack of all trades boosting the Sun Devils to new heights is Washington State transfer Argentina Ung. The setter is a lead at her position, ranking within the top 40 in the country for assists per set. Outside of setting dimes for her teammates, Ung can quite literally do anything on the court. She ranks second on the team in digs, second in service aces, and third in total blocks.
And we're lucky to have her. And we were getting a bunch of serving runs when she was back there serving. She does so many things so well. We can use her in so many different ways. It's great.
Conference play is underway for the Sun Devils, and their two Swiss Army knives will be crucial in their success going forward. Reporting for Cronkite Sports, I'm Crawford McKinstry.
Wednesday night marked the first of many wins in the Big 12 for Sun Devil volleyball, who will try to set a precedent of success in the new conference. To give us the landscape of the Big 12 as a whole, we welcome Nate Mills for CSL's newest segment, The Big Picture.
As Arizona State enters the Big 12, it's important to break the impact and get the big picture of what this conference has to offer in volleyball. Historically, the Big 12 is weaker compared to the Pac-12, which boasts 5 ranked former teams. But as ASU is joining the Big 12 at a pivotal time, powerhouse Texas is the reigning national champion, and they left the conference last season, opening the door for new contenders like the Sun Devils. At the top of the conference is number 9 Kansas, the team to beat this season. They play ASU on November 6th and will be a crucial indicator as to who might win this league. Senior setter Cameron Turner leads the country in assists per set, while Kansas also tops the conference in kills per set. Defensively, they allow the fewest service aces, a stat where ASU leads. Right behind number 14 Arizona State is number 19 Baylor, known for their defensive strength. They're second in the conference in opponent blocks, and Arizona State faces them today, September 27th. Baylor has had a brutal non-conference schedule, going 1-4 against ranked opponents like Texas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Another team to watch is number 17 BYU, who leads the Big 12 in blocks, anchored by sophomore middle blocker Brielle Kemavor, who is first in individual blocks. The Sun Devils will face BYU at home on October 4th in what promises to be a high-stakes match. Finally, number 22 TCU mirrors Arizona State in many ways, with a strong offense and a new head coach making an immediate impact. Senior outside hitter Melanie Parra, a Texas transfer, made history with back-to-back AVCA Player of the Week awards. But ASU has already shown they can handle the Horned Frogs, sweeping them in Fort Worth on Wednesday. In a conference undergoing transformation, Arizona State and Kansas stand out as the early favorites. And with 4 Pac-12 schools moving to the Big 12, the conference is emerging as a competitive battleground in college volleyball.
Thank you so much, Nate. And from the court to the pitch we go. Sun Devil Soccer taking on the Mountaineers of West Virginia in their Big 12 home opener. Here we'll pick it up here with the 12th minute. And how about Gianna Koss with the early goal to put the Mountaineers up early 1-0. But here comes Anasia Cologne on the free kick for the Sun Devils. And Kiera Blundell evens it up at 1 in the 13th minute. Blundell, a team-leading 8th goal of the season. But Annika Leslie with another corner kick and a header by Ajane Respass to give back the lead to the Mountaineers. 2-1 is the lead going into the half. But before then, long distance shot from West Virginia to make it 3-1, and what a save by Pauline Nellis, continuing to show that defensive prowess. 15 minutes to go in regulation, and then it became a match of yellow cards, 7 of which in the second half alone, 2 of which to ASU head coach Graham Winkworth, which led to his ejection from the game and suspending him to head coach on Sunday against Cincinnati. Here's what he had to say after the 2-1 loss that now has ASU sitting at 6-2-3.
But we just simply weren't good enough on the ball today, and our Achilles heel of set pieces has killed us again. So yeah, very, very, very frustrated.
Now, to say the Sun Devils have hit a major bump in the road by this loss is an understatement. But now, even without their head man on the sidelines for a matchup Sunday against a below-average Cincinnati Bearcats squad, the program has seen more positives than negatives in their first Big 12 season. Now, we have a full line of soccer insiders here to break it all down, starting with our Jacob Brooks.
Arizona State soccer has started off a solid 6-2-3 in its inaugural season in the Big 12, in large part thanks to a completely reconstructed back line. Compared to a year ago, the Sun Devils are starting almost a completely different unit along the back half, and heading the new-look back line is junior transfer Grace Gillard. Gillard came over to Tempe from Syracuse this past offseason after starting all 36 of her career games for the Orange. She's had a similar impact for the Maroon and Gold, starting all but 2 matches and being 3rd on the squad in total minutes. Tactically, she shines as a central or right center back, applying strong on-ball pressure and flying across the field with some of the quickest speed on the team. Along with her defense, her booming clears have been a key provider of quick offense for ASU's attackers all season long. Alongside Gillard on the Sun Devils' new-look back line is senior defender Olivia Coleman. And for more on her, here's Reese Goodall.
Thanks, Jacob. Senior defender Olivia Coleman's stellar start to the season has been another key factor to the success of this Sun Devils back line. Coleman has already set a career high for games started in a season with 10 and is fast approaching a career high in minutes played as well. After having her first 2 seasons at ASU cut short due to injury and having a limited role in her junior season, Coleman has taken a massive leap forward this season to become one of the most important Sun Devils. This was shown last Sunday as against UCF, Coleman came up with a huge clearance in the dying moments of the game to preserve the draw for ASU. Behind Coleman is goalkeeper Pauline Nellis. For more on her, here's WCSN soccer reporter Noah Reed.
Thanks. Rees, another cog in the defensive clockwork that ASU has built centers around junior goalkeeper Pauline Nellis. Last night, she completed her 45th straight game in the net for Arizona State. Since joining the team as a freshman, Nellis has stockpiled plenty of game time, recording 3,600 consecutive minutes at the helm of Sun Devil defense. In 11 games this year, Nellis has racked up 46 saves, and she's only 2 shy of breaking 200 all-time. However, the more striking statistic is that she has only allowed 8 goals against in 2024. That number is down from 20 last season. The German continues to show year-over-year progression as Nellis' leadership of the back line evolves with both Gillard and Coleman by her side.
What if I told you the person who has arguably had the best start to the year as an individual hadn't won until college until last weekend? Well, that's the case for ASU Golf's Josele Ballester, who's won both a continental and a national championship. Sienna Peck is in studio to tell us about the seniors' breakthrough on Sunday at Olympia Fields.
Thanks, Ben. Senior Sun Devil Josele Ballester officially has his first NCAA win. After competing in the 18th annual Olympia Fields Fighting Illini Invitational, Josele came out on top, matching the tournament record with a score of 10 under par. The Fighting Illini Invitational had 5 of the top 10 ranked amateurs in the world, including Josele. This may be the senior's first big win at a collegiate level, but he has definitely made his mark globally. In 2023, Josele won the European Amateur Championship, and a year later, the senior made history as the first ever Spaniard to win the U.S. Amateur Championship title. This week, Josela was back in his home country in the Spanish Open World Tour on the DP World Tour, where he missed the cut after a 2-round score of 4 over par. He will rejoin the team next week when they will compete in the Big 12 match play. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sienna. And wouldn't you believe we are just 7 days away from the start of Sun Devil hockey, and more importantly, the beginning of a new era as the Devils of the Ice begin their inaugural season as members of the National Collegiate Hockey Conference, or NCHC for short, just 1 week from today in Colorado Springs against the Falcons of Air Force. Now, head coach Greg Powers spoke to the media on Tuesday, addressing for the first time who he was looking for in the transfer portal to compete in their new league.
It's tough mentally for kids, but in this league, there are no nights off, and you have to stay here if you're going to have success. So, we wanted to build an old team this year, and we did, full of kids that maybe transferred from places that have been through the rigors of a really tough league schedule, and hopefully that pays off.
Now, as Greg Powers just mentioned, his roster has seen some critical turnover this offseason, but these additions will be crucial for the Sun Devils' success in the gauntlet that is the NCHC, where ASU is tied for being the 20th best team in the nation in the preseason and is one of 8 of the 9 teams in their new league to be ranked in the USCHO preseason poll. To give us our first look at what the winter might look like at Mullet Arena, we'll look at and hand it over to one of our newest Sun Devil hockey insiders, Colgan Herschel.
As the Sun Devils hockey team enters the season as the baby of the National Collegiate Hockey Conference, let's take a look at some of the newcomers to the ASU hockey family. Ryan Kerwin is a senior transfer from Penn State who looks like a promising candidate to fill the role that Matthew Copperwood occupied on the power play last season. Copperwood is the all-time leader in power play goals for the Sun Devils with 39. Last season, Kerwin played in all 36 games for the Nittany Lions and put up 13 goals and 26 points. As stated by assistant captain Lucas Sillinger, the Sun Devils will look to his heavy one-timer to put some power play goals past the opposing goaltender. Another player that ASU will look towards to put points on the board is the youngest player on the team, freshman Cullen Potter. The Wisconsin native put up 46 points, including 17 goals in 54 games last season for one of the most prestigious junior teams in the country, the United States National Team Development Program of the USHL. His accurate shot, mixed with his quick speed, should give him a great chance to succeed in the NCHC. Junior transfer Cruz Lucius is coming over from the Wisconsin Badgers of the Big Ten. The 2022 fourth-round pick of the NHL draft had 34 points in his last 2 seasons at Wisconsin, which led the Badgers in that category. His elusiveness on the ice and his creative play style will be missed at the beginning of the season as he is out with an undisclosed injury. Finally, Noah Beck is the only defenseman transfer on this roster. Beck came over from Clarkson of the ECAC, and the senior only had 9 points in 30 games last season for the Golden Knights, but his vision and IQ for the game of hockey is really what sets him apart from the rest of his competition. The new Sun Devils talent will be on full display on Friday, October 4th against the Air Force Falcons for their season opener in Colorado Springs. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Colgan Herschel.
Time to wrap things up with some ASU fall softball action. The Sun Devils taking on Division II Embry-Riddle. In the bottom of the first, Samantha Swan kicks things off with a sacrifice fly to left center field. Tanya Windle comes around to score. That would open up the score and make it 1-0 ASU. To the bottom of the third, Aiden Allen adds a 2-run shot to make it 3-0 ASU. Played in 26 games last season. The Sun Devils would add 2 runs. And then in the bottom of the 5th, it would bring up Nahanda Lewis, and she would add a 2-run shot of her own to make it 7-0 ASU. The UCF transfer played in 10 games last season before coming over and is the newest member of the Maroon and Gold. In the bottom of the 6th, a passed ball brings the run around, makes it 8-0 ASU, followed by a dropped third strike that would extend the Sun Devil lead to 9-0. Time to close things up in the top of the 7th, and it's Mika Lupi striking out the side. 1, 2, 3 strikeouts. Had 18 strikeouts and 40 innings pitched last season. If she can do that come the spring, she could be a problem as ASU picks up the win, 9-0. And Zippy, as we get ready to close our show on this week's episode of Cronkite Sports Live, I got to ask you, did you hear the news?
I did hear the news. Wednesday morning, the first schedules ever for Big 12 play for both men's and women's basketball were released.
You know, that's not far off. Some more big news concerning ASU. Number one in innovation, the 10th year in a row.
10.
Can you believe it? That's going to wrap up this episode of Cronkite Sports Live. For Max Cepeda, I'm Ben Paris and our entire studio crew. We say so long from Cronkite Sports Live. We'll see you next week.